we're back. We're back from a very long hiatus. We're back on this channel. We were actually on a separate Spoilercast channel for a while. It was a little experiment we had, and it didn't really work.
No,
we didn't have the already built-in audience of this channel, so we didn't reach that many. And we also didn't do any movies for a while. We only did American Horror Story, the entire 9th season of American Horror Story.
9th season, yeah.
Yes. So, whatever. We're back on this channel. Also because the last episode of our American Horror Story Spoilercast was blocked worldwide because you could faintly hear the audio of the episode in the background because we did a live Spoilercast while we were watching it. So it's an incomplete
Apparently
one.
that wasn't approved.
Nope. So we kind of scrapped that channel. It's still out there if you want to check it out. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
There is. We put the Ad Astra Spoilercast on there, so if you want to watch that,
I think so.
it's exclusively on the Spoilercast channel over there. But anyway, so we're back here. We're back we're back on this channel for 2020, basically.
Yeah.
But this first one is going to be a movie that we recently found out, or at least I did, got quite a few Oscar nominations.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can
Nice.
give you a little hint that I don't know, hint. Scarlett Johansson was nominated.
Oh yeah, I did see that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the only one I did see.
Okay. Yeah, but he got like best movie. I think he got best adapted screenplay because it's based on a book.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of technical Oscars. I mean, he got a bunch of Academy Awards nominations.
Cool.
Yeah, I really liked it, but I didn't expect it to get Oscar noms. But I guess it's that kind of movie, maybe.
That's the opposite of what I mean. I didn't think it would get any nominations, and I don't think it's. I'm sorry if that's blocked. If that's that kind of movie. Come on, Cat, get equipped.
No, but it was. I mean, it was a well-made movie. And,
yes. I'm more saying like I didn't think people would go for that subject.
Yeah.
And maybe the way it is made, like I mentioned to you, I thought it would be more drama than comedy.
Yeah, but I mean, based on the trailers, I thought it was going to be pure comedy.
I didn't watch that many trailers.
Okay.
As per usual.
But regardless, I mean, great movie.
Great movie, yes.
So, oh my lord.
The categories.
So let's do it like we usually do. What was your initial thoughts about the movie when we first saw it?
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. Me as well. Like I've seen a few Taika Waititi movies before, and he's good at mixing.
I've seen like one.
Yeah, we discussed that. You haven't seen. I mean, I've seen What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People.
I've seen that one, but
Okay.
it's been a while.
Yeah. Have you? And then The Hunt for the Wilder People, or Wilder People.
No, I haven't seen that one.
No, but you've seen Thor Ragnarok, which is...
Yeah.
It's not really a Taika Waititi movie. It has his kind of stamp on it, but it's not the kind of subject matter he usually does.
No.
And then he's done... Oh yeah, well, I saw Eagle vs. Shark, but it's so long ago, I can't even remember it. He was back in high school.
I'm just scrolling through his list on IMDb, and no, I haven't seen that many.
No, I think the only ones he's properly directed like feature length movies are Eagle vs. Shark, Boy, I think Boy or something like that. Then What We Do in the Shadows, Thor Ragnarok, and this. And then he's done some TV stuff, I think.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, I think the only one I haven't seen is Hunt for the Wilder People. Sorry, I didn't mention that. But the only one I haven't seen is Boy. But anyway, so
he did a bunch of In-Betweeners episodes.
Oh, he did? I didn't even think of that. I love that show.
5 episodes.
Oh my god. Okay, that's like a third of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why that show's so good.
Yeah.
But talking about Jojo Rabbit, his latest movie.
Yes.
This was a very Taika Waititi movie. I think even you can noticed that based on Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok. That is,
Yeah.
this kind of offbeat humor mixed with some serious stuff, but mostly it's just funny. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
A serious subject in a comedic point of view, sort of.
yeah, exactly. I mean, usually when I watch comedies or I don't really laugh. Not at least not like
No,
modern
me neither.
comedies. It's been a long time since I really like laughed at a comedy.
Literally lulled.
Yeah, but in this one I laughed quite a lot. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah.
There were like funny jokes, funny lines, quips. There was even some physical comedy. It was
Mm-hmm.
great. It was a lot of fun to watch.
And I think the entire theater agreed. I mean, we had the lady next to me must have been like 80,
Oh, okay, I didn't see her.
and I think the people behind us were like 16. I
Oh
saw a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah,
16-year-olds walk in at
yeah,
least. And I mean, I think everyone laughed.
yeah.
I think everyone actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, you could definitely hear it wasn't just us laughing. There was basically
Yeah.
everyone was laughing. Yeah, because it was, like I said, a really fun movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't like cut any corners when it came to all the offensive stuff. Like
No,
I
and
was
I love
thinking,
that.
like they were gonna like shortchange the whole Nazi thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
the first scene we see is him dressing up in his not Hitlerjugend. It's called something else because they were too young to be Hitlerjugend.
Young Jugend or something.
Something like that. Um, and he had like an S on his shoulder, and I was like, oh, they're not gonna have swastikas in this. Because not that I love swastikas, but I mean, Nazis had
It's
swastikas.
authentic.
Yeah, but then in the rest of the movie, there were swastikas everywhere.
Yeah, but the S is also it's a symbol of
Yeah.
the Nazis.
Yeah. And there were like a lot of straight up like not jokes, but like really offensive like lines about Jews, like a lot of them. Like, but it was made. It was still made in a tasteful way because every like offensive thing they said was more like it was like a joke made on the Nazis'
Yes.
expense. Like they thought these crazy things about Jews that we know are not real. Like, oh, they have fangs, or they sleep upside down. Things. And it just made it was. I mean, it was an offensive thing to say, but it just made the Nazis look stupid.
Yes, from our point of view, knowing that that's not true,
Yeah.
it just made the Nazis look like idiots.
Yeah. Like a racist or anti-Semite couldn't go into this movie and say, "Ha, yeah, tell those Jews," because they would probably be offended over how ridiculous the Nazis were portrayed in the movie.
Unless they're stupid enough to not understand it.
Yeah, but I think even then,
I hope so. At least I hope they understand it.
Yeah.
I thought I think it was practically the second scene when he starts running around when he's like pepped to go to this young Nazi camp thing.
Yeah.
And he just runs around and Heil Hitler to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was amazing.
It's almost too much, but it's too good.
Yeah, they started the movie with him running around, literally heiling all over the streets of Berlin. It was so Heil Hitler! I was so happy. You're just heiling out of joy. That was so much fun because it's so offensive to do, but that's what makes it so much fun.
It was pure
this like
joy.
10-year-old child just running around, jumping and skipping around, Heil Hitler to everyone he saw.
I loved it.
It was so.
I was
good.
a bit like, oh my god, is this too much? But then after a while, I was like, yeah, no, just go with it. It's funny.
It was way too much, which made it even more funny.
Yeah.
That was like
every time they had to say hi to someone, specifically when the I was about to say Gesundheit, but that's not the word.
The Gestapo.
Gestapo.
Yeah.
When they came in, they had to hire every person individually.
Yeah, there were like 5 Gestapo agents or whatever. The main one being played by Stephen Merchant, the world's tallest man. And each one had to say Heil Hitler when they
to every single person.
Instead of saying hello, they had to say Heil Hitler, and you had to respond. So they spent like 30 or 40 seconds just saying Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler.
Yeah, I think eventually there are like almost 10 people heiling each other.
Yeah, and then another person, and then oh no, what's his name?
Sam Rockwell.
Yes, Sam Rockwell. Then he comes in midway through the scene, and they have to Heil Hitler him as well. Everyone.
And Alfie Allen as well.
Oh yeah, and Alfie Allen. What was his name in the movie?
Finkel.
Finkel, right? He was like the assistant to Captain K.
He was the.
Yeah. They were obviously like a couple or a thing.
Yeah.
But they weren't
probably secret though, because
because they were in Nazi Germany. Yeah, homosexuality is not a it's not an okay thing in that time, in that place. No. But they were very clever with that. They weren't like overtly like oh we caught us with our pants down. It was just like little things, because they were very good at hiding it, because they had to hide it, since they were in like in the Nazi central.
I did not even notice it at first. It's like the little things. I didn't see like the scene where they feed each other cake or something. You mentioned it, but I was like, I didn't even notice. I just thought, first of all, that Finkel was just probably had a crush on him, but like he wanted to be him or something.
Yeah, no, there was something going on. Yeah, but that feeding scene was so short. It was just when Scarlett Johansson kicks open the door, and they're like, oh, you see it for like not even half a second.
No,
like a hundredth of a second. It's go, and they stop.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of heiling in the movie. Everyone was heiling all the time.
Even the Jew.
Oh yeah.
That I thought it was a bit strange, but of course she had to. Like, how else would she try to like pass off as a Nazi? Like,
yeah, because
how would she survive that?
That's the main plot of the movie, in which they was pretty good at not spoiling in the trailers. I didn't know that was going to be it. I'd heard that there was a Jew hiding in Jojo's house, or that the mother was housing a Jew.
The tagline on IMDb is, a young boy in Hitler's army found out his mother is hiding a Jewish girl in their home.
I hadn't even read that. Yeah. So that's
like you said, in the trailer they don't mention it at all.
No.
No posters really reveal it. I mean, she's on the poster. You
yeah,
can't really tell that she's a Jewish girl. Like,
no, she's just another character.
Yeah.
So that was
the Jews aren't that much different from the Nazis.
Exactly, they're kind of the same, you know. So that was pretty nice, not to have the movie spoiled like at all. All I knew about the movie was Jojo Rabbit is kind of a scaredy cat. That's why they call him Jojo Rabbit. And he has this imaginary friend which helps him out in tough situations. And his imaginary friend is Hitler. And I thought that was going to be like the story of him, like learning to like be more comfortable with who he is, and learning. Like,
which it is.
Nazi. Yeah, it is that. But the like main plot is him getting to know the Jewish girl. I forget her name.
Elsa?
Elsa, right. Played by
Elsa,
Thomasin McKenzie.
Yes.
Which I didn't even know she was in the movie, so I was very pleasantly surprised over that, because I don't know if you saw from a couple of years ago, I think, Leave No Trace.
I didn't see it.
No. Oh yeah, I saw it with our parents. She plays Ben Foster's daughter in that, and she was amazing in it. So it was fun to see her in a really good role again.
I think I've seen her like somewhere. She's in The Hobbit.
Oh.
She has a small role in The Hobbit. I did
pretty young. I did
recognize her.
Yeah.
I couldn't really place her.
No.
Somewhere.
I don't remember the Hobbit movies that much.
No. But it's like when you saw the first season of Game of Thrones, and you're like, I know I've seen Jeffrey somewhere. Yeah, you see him in Batman Begins.
Like, oh right, yeah. He's
ages ago.
One scene in Batman Begins.
My word, Kitty.
Oh, Kitty. But yeah, so the movie, other than them getting to know each other, and the mother like slyly Scarlett Johansson playing the mother.
Yeah.
She's very supportive of her son, who is a very devout Nazi. He wants to
Yes.
He wants to become first a Hitlerjugend and then have a shot at becoming like the personal guard of Hitler. That's his big goal in life, which is cut
But he
short.
only wants to do that because his mom has been telling him that his father is out fighting the war
Yeah,
for Hitler.
yeah. Well, she says he's fighting the war in Italy, and that dream of his is cut short, like in the second scene. Well, not second scene, but or very early in the movie.
The second day, I guess.
Yeah.
Not even that. It's technically the first day.
They're training on training to shoot and training how to throw knives and kill,
In
basically.
this junior Jugend
camp
thingy.
Yeah. And he grabs a grenade and throws it because he wants to show everybody that I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Yeah.
It's an epic scene.
He just he just barges the teacher, grabs a grenade and throws it in slow motion. Problem is it bounces back and lands right next to him and he blows up.
He does have a couple of seconds to react, but he doesn't react.
No,
he's like, oh fuck.
And then he blows up.
And then explosion.
Yeah. Which was also very well hidden in the trailers. I didn't know that was going to happen.
No.
So that also
the damages are quite subtle.
Yeah. I mean, he limps and he has a few scars on the left side of his face, but they're not really that visible.
But the limp gets less as the movie progresses. And the scars, I think they actually fade a bit as well.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. But that is the first thing that kind of plants the seed of him like questioning his Nazism. Maybe this isn't for me. Not that like, oh, Nazism is bad, but that this is not really for me.
Yeah, it kind of confirms his because the first scene when he's getting ready, he's like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
He's nervous.
He's nervous.
He's the rabbit. He's scared. And this kind of confirms it for him. Like, oh shit. Yeah. I'm not cut out for this.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can't continue with the camp. Instead he's in the hospital, and then a few weeks later he gets like his mother forces them to give him a job as a errand boy, so he has something to do while she works.
Because Captain K got fired from taking care of children.
Yeah, because he blew up a kid.
One blew up. Yeah. So he now has to take care of this child he accidentally, more or less.
Yeah, blew up. Yeah. And then that's kind of the plot of the movie. We get to know the characters, and we slowly see him start to questioning Nazism. But it's done so well, because I was worried it was going to be like finger wagging, like, you see, this is why Nazism is bad, this is why not. And I mean, it is, but it's not like preachy. It isn't like yelling it into your face. It's done so subtly, and it's so effortlessly.
Yeah, it takes its sweet time, and it's not convincing us. It's convincing him.
Yeah.
And it's not convincing us that Nazism is bad, really. It's more convincing him that Jews aren't that bad.
Yeah.
That Jews aren't that different. And that makes him question, like, wait, if Hitler is lying about Jews, then
what else is he
lying about?
Yeah. So that's what's so good about it. It's so I don't know how you say it in English. Pedagogist.
How do you say it in...
I actually don't know how to say it.
No, me neither.
Yeah, but it's like a very good way to...
it's like a teachable moment sort of thing.
Yeah. And not saying that Nazism is bad because, it's bad. It's saying that Jews aren't bad because they're just like us. We're all just human. So instead of like instilling hatred in him like the Nazis did, they're trying to teach him something about the rest of the world instead.
Yeah.
Them being his mother, who is not really into Nazism. She loves Germany, but the whole anti-Semitism thing, she's kind of iffy about. We later find out she's very much against it. She's part of the resistance. But when she talks to Jojo about it, or Joseph is his name, right?
Joseph, yeah.
Yeah. She's like trying, like, yeah, it's good to have a cause, but maybe it's the wrong cause because
and
things.
She's Actually, mostly I think she says that, well, you're too young to be this
That too.
invested in
Yeah, to be
this.
political. You should be
Yeah, you're
out
10
playing
years
and
old.
dancing and having fun.
Hmm.
And he's very serious. That was kind of fun. And I can see because I think he was nominated for a Golden Globe, maybe even won. I don't know, but I know he was nominated for Golden Globe, and he's what's his name? Jojo.
Roman Griffin Davis.
Right, Roman Griffin Davis. He was amazing at delivering
Yes.
dialogue that was more suited for like a 20-year-old, and he's what, 12, 10, 12? He's
Yeah,
supposed
he's
to play
young.
a 10-year-old in the movie.
He can't be much older.
No, and yeah, so it was very fun to see that, because it can be hard for child actors to deliver dialogue
This
or just
is
act.
his first movie as well.
Oh, really?
His first acting job.
Nothing else before?
Nothing.
So maybe
He has one credit on IMDb, and that is as Jojo Rabbit.
oh, so maybe it was like a stunt casting thing, or maybe he's been in commercials and stuff. But yeah, for his first big acting role, that is very,
He might have
very
done
impressive.
like maybe theater or something, I guess.
That could be it. Yeah. But either way,
And he's British, and I loved his accent.
yes, that was another thing I liked. Everyone had a kind of silly German accent, kind of like that old British show, The Secret Army or whatever it's called, the one about the French Resistance.
Yeah.
Everyone has this ridiculous kind of German accent. They kind of did that here as well.
Yes. The funny part, I think it was funny, when the Americans came along,
Yeah.
everyone was speaking English, but they couldn't understand each other.
Yeah.
They just did it with an accent. Like, the Americans were like, I don't know what you're saying, in, like, total American.
Yeah, that
While
was...
he was speaking English with just a German accent.
Yeah. But I mean, it's supposed to be German.
Yeah, that was fun, though, because for a while I thought, in some movies, when the main character is not English,
Yeah.
but they speak English, the English speakers
Mm.
speak some other random language, just to make it even more obvious that you don't understand them.
And I thought that was what they were doing here, because it ends with the American soldiers taking over Berlin, or storming Berlin, the bombings of Berlin. And at first it sounded like the American soldiers were like speaking Danish or Swedish or something, but then you heard they were speaking English, which was kind of weird. They should have spoken some other language. Just that could have been comedic as well. Them like just speaking gibberish, because Germans can't understand English, or most Germans can't, especially not then. And like, but I can't understand you. But no, they were just speaking English. That's like,
I liked it though.
It worked. Yeah, it worked. It wasn't a detriment. It was just, it could have been interesting.
But I mean, how many words of English were actually spoken by the Americans?
Yeah, I think
like
total.
10
I think
tops.
like 3 or 4 lines. That's about it. That's all we heard.
And I think 3 times they said, "Get out of here, kid! Get out of here, kid!"
Yeah,
that's all they said basically.
But like we said before, that's the ending of the movie. So spoilers. But that's really the only plot we get, is the progression of time from, I think it takes place over like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah. In the beginning, he goes, "I am Jojo Belzer. I am 10 years old, and I can do this sort of thing." He's like pep talking himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And then in the end, because that's when he puts on the Nazi uniform sort of thing. And in the like last scene, when he puts on regular clothes, he stands there and he goes, "I am Jojo Belzer. I am 10 and a half years old." So yeah, it has to be 6 months.
Okay.
Almost exactly.
I didn't even think of that last line.
You didn't?
No, I didn't think of it.
He just pep talked himself to show Elsa the outside world, sort of thing.
Oh, right. Yes. Of course. Yeah, and he was mirroring his mother when she first let him out of the house when they were going.
Yes, because she goes as well, like, I don't remember what she said. Something about him being a soldier and ready for war.
Are you ready for wars? But yes, is it dangerous out there? And she's very. And then she opens the door, and she asks him the same thing. Is it dangerous out there? And he says, very.
No, he asks her, and she says, very. Oh no, sorry.
No,
in the end.
In the end, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and there's this long like gap towards the end where after after his mother dies because
Hmm.
she is found out as a conspirator of the resistance. Speaking of when the movie takes a turn and it's not funny at all, the scene where he finds her was like whoa, because it came
Yeah,
out of nowhere and it was so
because
well
he
made.
goes.
Because
Yeah,
it starts with him. It's towards the end of the war, so now food is very scarce, and they live pretty like well. They have a big nice house. So I'm guessing
mm,
both parents before the war were probably working and working with something
yeah.
good. So they weren't like short up for food. Never in the movie we see they like eat soup, but I mean it's the 40s, so
Everyone did that.
soup
Yeah,
was a thing, yeah. Um, but it's towards the halfway of the movie, he starts walking around on the streets like asking for food or looking for food because
yeah.
it's
Sort of
getting
going for
scarce,
rations.
and that too. And then but he's still happy because it's a good life for him still. And then he starts following this butterfly, and it lands just under the gallows, which you've seen earlier in the movie, where they hang like uh,
Resistance people,
resistance people, or just I guess Jews or
or
Germans.
deserters or
Yeah,
something.
exactly, Germans who refuse to be Nazis or anti-Semites,
Mm.
and they've made this purposeful choice in the movie to show the mother's shoes more than once. You have in the
They
beginning
show
we see
Jojo's shoes as well.
yeah, there's a lot of it starts with his shoes. I think when he like dresses in his uniform, and we see her dress up, putting on her shoes and stuff, and we see later when they're out just walking around talking about life. He's sitting on like this like wall or something, half wall, and she's standing on
Mm.
it. So we see her shoes next to him or her legs next to him. So there's a lot of emphasis on her shoes. I think also to show that he's a very small child. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's a very small boy. And like, he's kind of scared, Jojo Rabbit, to show that adults are above him because he
Mm.
feels very small. So it's not just to show the shoes to set up the scene where she's dead, but
No, and I mean they.
it's
I think they use because they mentioned a few times that 10 years old how to tie his laces by now.
yeah, that too. He doesn't. That's also like to show that he's very
He's not
inexperienced and
really.
he's too
Yeah.
young basically.
Yeah.
And then when he sees the butterfly land on the ground, and he stands up or he looks up, and you just see a pair of shoes hanging. But just from that, they never show her face. You just see the
Hmm.
shoes and like part of her leg. But
And yeah, you see the trousers. You see the end of the trousers.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you know instantly that it's her because of the shoes. And the music cuts out. There's no like oh no no sad music or
No, it's
anything. It's
just dead
completely
silence.
silent. You don't even hear anything in the background. Then he starts whimpering and hugging her legs, and it's like, because the movie just a second before was fun, it was nice, and it's like, oh,
But isn't it like this? A couple of scenes before that. That's when the Gestapo comes to visit, and Captain K kind of saves him and Elsa, and he kind of asks like, "Where is your mother? Has she been out on the town? Out,
yeah,
yeah,
she's
something."
out because she's still alive at that point, yeah,
Yeah,
but
but they
she's
say like, has she been out a lot lately?
yeah, and
And Jojo's like,
we
I guess.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
we've seen her leaving like notes like join the resistance notes just put in on tables
mm,
and stuff when
once or
Jojo start
twice.
yeah, because Jojo starts following her around when he realizes that his mother is housing a Jew. She's
Mm.
a traitor. um so
So I mean, we get hints, but and I mean, she's not in the a couple of scenes just before she's gone.
no, she disappears, yeah.
But that's it. She just disappears, and then she winds up dead.
Yeah, they probably took her and interrogated her and then hung her
I just find it
as a
weird that they didn't tell him, because he has no one else. They know that.
I'm thinking it might be, they don't want to like tell them, hey, we killed your mother, even though it's
Tell him
oh
the Jews did it.
yeah, but then we wouldn't have that scene.
No, I know.
And if they told her like, hey, we know, yeah, your mother wasn't a Nazi, so she was a bad person, but even if even if they hang your mother, you're still gonna hate them for it. So they didn't want to tell him that, even
No,
though
I know.
even though she was the enemy. It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, I agree. It's very well made how she just gradually disappears, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you get to know, oh well, she's dead.
yeah.
It's just, in my mind, all I could think about is he's a child. Who's gonna take care of him?
Well, at that point, he kind of has to grow up a little bit,
Yeah.
and part of grow. Yeah, yeah, but he wants to see himself as an adult, and now he actually has to be one, and it's also
And he
part.
does grow up
He
quite a
does grow up,
lot.
yeah, and that's a big part of him starting to questioning anti-Semitism or Nazism. And also the more he gets to know Elsa, she's also she's kind of judgmental in the beginning, which is very understandable. The kid's a Nazi and calls her like a dirty Jew, like spits on the floor and stuff. He's really nasty to
Tries
her.
to fight her with knives.
Yeah, and after the mother dies, he stabs her.
Because he's mad at her. He thinks it's her fault.
Yeah, which
sort of.
It partly is. I mean, it's not her fault, but it's because the mother was helping a Jew that she was hung. So yeah, he's so angry he doesn't know what to do, and so he just walks up with the knife he got at camp and just jams it in her shoulder. But he stops himself.
And she grabs him as well.
She grabs the knife or his hand, but he also realizes the second he does it that this was wrong. So he just goes in like it's
barely
in there,
half
but
a centimeter.
Yeah, but it's in there. But she doesn't.
Yeah, you see the mark afterwards.
Yeah, but she doesn't react because she knows how he feels, because she has also lost her parents to the war. So
in a similar horrible way.
Yeah. I mean, technically, they've both lost their parents to the Nazis.
Yeah, because it turns out that his dad was fighting the resistance in Italy.
Yeah,
not with the Nazis.
Yeah, he was fighting for the resistance.
Yeah.
So she understands why he is angry, and she can see why he would be angry with her, even though it's not really her fault. So she doesn't like lecture him on that. She lectures him a lot in the beginning, like attacks him. But that's before they know each other.
Yeah.
But at that point, they know each other well enough to understand. She understands why he does it, and he understands that what he does, what he wants to do, is wrong because he wants to kill her. Obviously, you can see it in his eyes. He's so mad.
At that point, yes.
Yeah, but then
that's because he doesn't know what else to do.
Yeah, exactly. And after that. After that, he's pretty much disillusioned with Nazism. Not that he's.
That's when he stops wearing the uniform.
Yeah,
more or less.
Yeah, he starts
like
wearing
completely.
Yeah, he starts wearing civilian clothes, and then that is also, we forgot to mention his best friend Yorkie, who is the same as him, very like loyal to the Nazis and like, oh, I really want to be a soldier and fight for Germany. But each time, and they were in the same camp, and he continued with the camp and became a soldier, or a Hitlerjugend.
Yeah, because he didn't explode.
Yeah. So each time we see him, he's like walking around doing his for the war effort, and like, oh, it's so nice being a Nazi. And then Jojo talks to him about his daily life, and he mentions that there's a Jew living in my house, and he's like,
he's the only person he confides in.
Yeah, because York is a little, I don't know. He's like, I don't want to say...
He goes like, with the flow, sort of.
He's like Patrick in SpongeBob. He's not stupid. Yes. He's just,
bit simple.
He's Yorkie. He's Patrick. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, and he mentions like...
He doesn't really care. He just wants to do what everyone else is.
Yeah.
Oh, what else am I supposed to do?
He doesn't have a problem with Jews. He just wants to join the Nazis because, that's fun to hang out with his friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they start talking about, oh, what does she look like? Well, she doesn't have horns and she doesn't drink blood. And he's like, yeah, they sound like they're kind of similar to us. And I hear a lot of silly things about Jews, and they can't all be true, right? So he's like, he doesn't believe at all in Nazism, but he's like, whatever.
Everyone else is.
Yeah. And that's also...
He seems so the few times he mentions like what's going on with him, he's like, well, it's not very comfortable being a Nazi.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
clothes suck, and
He shows him the uniform. It turns out the uniform is made out of paper because they're running out of supplies.
Fabric, yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's really hot.
And when he's like, when he's running around fighting almost, he's like, yeah, this kind of sucks. I hurt myself.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
And when we see him,
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, he becomes disillusioned in a very different way. Because he didn't believe in it at all from the beginning. He just wanted to, be with his friends. And the last time we see him, like the last time they meet, his uniform is completely shredded, and you see he has wounds on his back. It's
he's
horrible.
Almost only wearing like
rags.
That wife beater kind of
the tank top.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
He has like a big gash across his back.
Yeah.
Also,
and
he's a fat little 10-year-old boy with glasses.
Like, this wasn't at all what I wanted to do.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So at that point,
that's what would have happened to Jojo though if he
exactly. That's showing like the alternative. What would have happened to Jojo? And at this point, he is more or less completely stopped hating Jews, because the only Jew he knows he is actually kind of fallen in love with,
even though she's not twice his age.
No, but she's at least a few years older than him.
She's almost 16, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how old
she's engaged.
Well, they engaged younger back then, but
I guess
I think she's in Thomas and Mackenzie. I think she's like 17 or something.
She's born in 2000.
Oh, so she's 20. Or I guess she was 19 when they shot this.
I think she was 18. About 16.
Yeah,
character.
17. Yeah, exactly. She's supposed to play like 16, 17. So and they mentioned also, she sees him more like a little brother, which I thought first was typical, but then I thought, maybe a movie about a 10-year-old doesn't have to have a romance subplot.
No.
I was like, in the same second,
I actually like that there was no. If she would have been younger and they would have fallen in love, it's like, no. They're 10-year-olds in war. Yeah, exactly. No, you don't fall in love.
It was just that he was put in the little brother zone, and it was like, and I was like, nah, it's for the better. I caught myself. So you never actually hear him denounce I hate Nazis, because that's not actually what it's about. It's about him learning to love instead.
Yeah.
The only confirmation we get that he hates Nazis, it's the final scene with Hitler, who towards
imaginary Hitler,
yeah. Because towards the second half of the movie, he's not in the movie that much, because as he's growing up, you have less and less need for an imaginary friend. But and
as he's talking to other people, the Elsa, he doesn't have time to talk to his imaginary Hitler as much.
Exactly. But the final scene we see with him, it's as the bombs start falling, I think. And he's like, why are you still hiding this Jew? You need to give her up right now. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that, because they like each other, and he likes her.
Yeah.
And that's
you mean when he this is Sparta, sort of.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he says, but it's basically, because he says, you have to kill her now. Because he's been a pretty nice guy, Hitler. I mean, for being
just calling him he's a bit of a bully.
He's a little bit of a bully, but that's because he has to grow up. So he's bullying himself basically. But
Yeah.
But he's nice, and he is his friend.
Mm.
But that's the last time, because it's not just his imaginary friend. It's it's the part of him that wants to be a Nazi. It's the part of him that does hate Jews, that has created this character also.
Yeah.
So when he's at odds with his beliefs,
isn't this right after Yorkie has told him that Hitler killed him?
Exactly. Yeah. Because he finds out that Hitler killed himself.
The coward. How can you do that?
And he says seems there was a lot of things Hitler didn't tell us about. So maybe he was wrong about the Jews as well. As Yorkie says. And that's when he confronts him. And Hitler shows up with a bullet wound in his head, because he shot himself in the head. And he's basically saying, "No, I'm not gonna do that, because you're a bad person." Basically, he says, "Fuck off,
Yeah,
Hitler,"
something like that.
and just like, kicks him out of a window. Which was the only scene that I would have changed. I would have made that scene a little. I told you about this. I would have made it a little more melodramatic.
A little more like fading away sort of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of
just saying "fuck off, Hitler," he would say, "You lied to me. You kept secrets. You weren't the person you told me you were. I thought we were friends." And not like, "Oh, you were wrong about Jews," and doing the preachy thing, but just saying that as a friend you lied to me. As a friend you betrayed me. Not as
more of the disappointment.
Exactly.
Rather than just exterminating him.
Yeah, and you understand that that's what he wants to say, but so maybe it would have been a little bit on the nose. But I would have liked to seen something like that. One more
same
really
time he was
dramatic
a kid,
scene.
And that was his dramatic reaction. I think.
Yeah, sure.
To finding out that his hero has betrayed him and lied to him and just left him.
Yeah.
You just confirmed what I was fearing these last 3 months.
Yeah. So
how can you do that?
Yeah, it definitely
works.
It definitely works.
But I agree, they could also have done it in a more subtle, dramatic way, sort of.
Yeah. But maybe that's something they had thought about, and they thought maybe would be too on the nose, or too melodramatic, so they changed it. I don't know. I'm gonna trust.
Could be.
From what I've seen of Taika Waititi, I'm going to trust his directing choices.
And like you said, it worked, and it was still good. Yeah. It didn't drag down the movie at all. That scene was, first of all, very short.
Yeah.
It was just, you didn't need more, to be honest.
No. It's
great. Fine.
It was fine. It was great.
Yeah.
And after that, he lets Elsa out. Because at first he doesn't. That's also a little creepy. He doesn't want her to leave, because he knows the second the war is over, she's gonna leave, and he'll never see her again. Alone. Yeah, and he'll be all alone. So at first he says like, "Oh, the Germans won. You're gonna have to stay in here." But then
forever.
Yeah, forever. And then he realizes, "No, I can't do this, because then I'm just as bad as the Nazis, like imprisoning and killing Jews."
Yeah.
So he lets her out. And because the first thing she does when she gets out and he stands there on the stoop of the house, she just slaps him in the face. And "No, I deserve that." And I was like, "Yeah, you did."
Because you lied. Did. You said they lost. Lied. You basically hurting her towards her death. That's what she thought.
Yeah, exactly. And being a Nazi and saying some very mean things to her in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he deserved it. But then, she also, because of how well their relationship has been portrayed in the movie, she also realizes that, first of all, he's a kid. Second of all,
knows that he...
Yeah. Second of all, he was brainwashed by the Nazis. So, she gives him a slap just to show.
I didn't like that.
God damn you. But then they're friends. And the movie ends with them...
Also, I think because she knows that he lost both his parents.
Yeah.
And she knows that she has no one left. Her parents are dead. Her fiance is dead.
Yeah, we find
Who
that
else
out.
is she gonna go to? So she's like, "Well, you're all I got, and I'm all you got. So fuck it, let's just stick together."
Yeah, and that's also, they ended very nice, because that's also a thing. Like throughout the movie, they talked about dancing. The mother likes to dance. They do dance after the one dinner scene.
Yes.
When she says, "You're too young for politics, you should be out playing," she mentions dancing then. She mentions before the war, her and Jojo's father used to dance. It's a big motif, but you never see anyone dance except for in the last scene.
In 2 scenes.
Mom with them dancing
with Jojo once after dinner. And she sort of skips along a bit when she's on that half wall and she talks to him about dancing. She does do a couple of moves with her feet.
But she mentions it's like it's being free, and she mentions like, "Oh, I appreciate God by dancing to show that I'm free," and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The last thing they do in the movie, they're on the streets of Berlin. The war's over. They're both free. Especially him, because I don't know what they did to Hitlerjugend kids, but there is a scene where they kind of like Captain Kate rips off his uniform because he has the
Mm,
the Nazi jacket on.
jacket on, yeah.
He says, "Get away from me, dirty Jew!" to save him because the Americans are, and a
The
second later,
Americans were probably killing anyone who was a Nazi,
yeah, and we hear
more
them
or less.
shoot Captain K and some other captured Nazis a second
Mhm.
later. So Captain K saved him. That was the last thing he did. Captain K turned out to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're both free, and to celebrate, they dance.
Elsa does mention just before that, I think the night before or something, when they're talking after he finds out that his mother's dead. He asks her when they're looking out the window, like, "What's the first thing you'll do when you're free?" And she says,
All
"I'm gonna
right.
dance.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dance."
Another mentioning of dancing. Yeah. So that's also a motif. So it's a perfect ending. They
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
They celebrate their friendship. They celebrate the end of the war. They celebrate the freedom. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, like talking about when we saw it, I thought like, yeah, this was not just an average movie. It's a really good movie. But when I was watching the Oscar nominations before, I was like, wow, we got a lot of Oscar nominations. I didn't think that, but now that we talked about it and I really thought about it, it's like, yeah, I get it. This is actually a really, really good movie.
Yeah. And I think we mentioned it when we were leaving the theater. Like, there's a lot of good known actors in it.
Yeah.
Even in small parts.
Yeah, like we said, the Gestapo leader agent was played by Stephen Merchant. We had, of course, Taika Waititi as Hitler. Alfie Allen was in there. Scarlett Johansson. Rebel Wilson played the secretary character.
Fraulein Ram.
Yeah, exactly. And then I forget his name again. Captain K.
Sam
Rockwell. But like the main cast, first of all, the main cast is pretty small, which I like. There's not too many characters, and they're all
5 main characters.
Yeah, and if you
that
count,
have like big parts.
If you count, Rebel Wilson and Alfie Allen, they're like, they're all here on the screen here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. That's really all they're in the movie, and then like Yorkie.
Yeah.
And then they're just extras in the background. Yeah. So yeah, like I knew I would like this movie. I thought it was gonna be like a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10. But I like after watching it, after like dissecting it here, I mean, it's very early. It's technically the first movie I've seen of 2020, but it's the best movie I've seen all year.
You know what it's got on IMDb?
No.
A solid 8.
Okay, but what is the Metascore?
Metascore is at 57.
That's what I mean. I thought it was going to be like a 50, 60 something movie, but I would put this up at like 80 or maybe even 85. Maybe even higher. I mean, what was bad about it? What are some of the reviews saying?
Okay, there's 2 that are 80 and above.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 between 40 and 60.
Okay.
And then there's actually 2 that are red marked. One is 33 and one is 0.
What?
I just have to.
Wait. Are you reading?
Can I read the 0?
Are these the professional, not the user scores?
Yeah, it's Metascore.
Yeah, but it's not the user scores.
It's magazines.
Oh my god.
Slant magazine. I don't know what that is though.
Slant? Really? Okay.
They gave it a 0.
Oh my god.
Writing is the short part is Waititi is incapable of dealing with the twin horrors of oppression and indoctrination beyond cheap seats sentimentality and joke making.
What? Waititi's incapable of dealing with the twin horrors of oppression and indoctrination beyond cheap seat sentimentality and joke making. Really? I thought he handled it very good.
Isn't it supposed to be funny?
They mean that he's like cheapening the war and cheapening the Holocaust. Like, no, he's not.
He's not cheapening it. He's doing it from a 10-year-old perspective.
Yeah.
How else would a 10-year-old see this?
Yeah. Now that's like, and even if you think like, oh, maybe it's a delicate subject, you shouldn't make fun of like the war. Okay, fair enough, but a 0 out of 10, really?
They still
0 to
really
100.
clearly show you what the war has done, what it's doing to
I think it's
kids and adults alike, but both in the Nazi camp and the non-Nazi camp. Now that's too much. That's
that's
Mr.
ridiculous.
Keith Ulich. I don't know how to say your name.
Ulich, I think. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, exactly. You know, every review like this is supposed to be subjective, definitely, but you are wrong, sir.
You are wrong.
That is
I'm
wrong.
sorry.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think we both highly recommend it.
Yes, and I think it needs more people to see it, because that score isn't
No,
it's not.
It's
not reflecting what the movie actually is.
Not at all.
No.
It's much better than a 0 out
It
of 100.
has an amazing script, amazing it's director, awesome actors. Like, no one failed anywhere. I had no complaint at all.
Amazing photography.
Yes, God, yes.
The small but like important moments when they used slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
And just how good everything looked. Like when you see Captain K in his own designed uniform.
I love that.
With the big hat and the cape, and it was him.
The feather is for aerodynamics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was great.
Loved it.
It was amazing. Yeah. So
I have no complaints. I mean, music is usually the thing I don't really notice, and I did somewhat, but
I noticed more.
It enhanced the feelings, but not too much that it took over, that you only felt that they were like playing in your ears. It was
I mostly
you saw.
Yeah, I mostly noticed that they used some pop songs that were translated into German, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so hopefully if you've listened to this, you've already seen the movie since it's a spoiler cast, so we don't really have to recommend it to you, but
you can always recommend it to your friends.
Yes, exactly. Be sure to recommend it to your friends. And if you haven't seen it, that's too bad, because now we've spoiled it all for you. But still,
enjoy it. Yeah.
Still enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. But that's that.
And it's a great start to 2020.
Oh, yeah. Very good start for 2020. But that's that for this time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Be sure to hit the like thing if you liked it. Hit it the dislike if you disliked it. But if you didn't like it and you want to see more spoiler casts, I don't know what else to do. Trailer reactions, video essays. There's one coming.
Not a film.
If you like film-related stuff,
in general,
hit the subscribe button and the little bell thing so you're always updated when we release new stuff. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.